Do you hate having to download a file from SharePoint just so you can attach it to an email? I'll copy this file to the Temp document library. This PowerAutomate flow will attach the copied file to an email draft. Once the file has been attached, the flow will delete it and send me an adaptive card via Teams to let me know that my email draft is ready. If you want to learn how to create this automation, keep watching. A link to all the JSON I'll be using can be found in the description box below. This automation will be triggered each time a file is copied into a specific document library. In the Insights portion of this video, I'll go over the reason why I've chosen to do it this way. First, I'll need to create a document library that will temporarily hold the copied files. Once the file is added to the email draft, the copied file will be deleted from the document library. In PowerAutomate, I'll create an automated cloud flow. Give your flow a name so you can find it later. Search for when a file is created. Select this one. I'll select my site and library. If you want to temporarily save your files into a folder, you can specify that here. Next, I'll need to get the file content. I'll select my site and insert the file identifier from the previous action. Next, I'll add a compose action. This will be used to hold the JSON required for the email attachment. I'll rename my action to keep things organized. When you first create this flow, you have to include the two @ symbols. Otherwise, when you try to save the flow, you'll get an error. I'm going to insert the file name with extension here. I'll add another compose action to hold the text for my adaptive card subject line. Although you can put the text into the action itself, I prefer to use compose actions to make it easier to edit the card's content at a later date if I need to. I'll add one more compose action that will hold the text for my adaptive card. For my card text, I'm choosing to include the file name with extension. Next, I'll add a send HTTP request action. This action will create the email draft. We'll be using the Microsoft Graph API. A link to the Microsoft article can be found in the description box below. Change the method from get to post. For this draft, I'm going to include a subject line and the attachment. I'll insert the file name into the subject line to make it easy to identify the draft. This will be helpful if I don't plan to send the email right away. You can choose to leave your subject line blank if you like. I'll replace this placeholder with the attachment compose action. Once the attachment has been attached to the email, I'd like to delete the file. If you'd like to keep your copied files, you can skip this part of the flow. Remember that this automation will only run at the time the file is copied over, and only for a single file. I'll insert a delete file action. I'll select my site, and I'll choose the file identifier from the very first action. For the last action, I'll add a post adaptive card in a chat or channel. This action will notify me via Teams once my email draft is ready. I'm going to post it as a flowbot, and I'm going to post it in a chat with the flowbot. For the recipient, I'll insert the created by email. This will be the email address of the person who created the copied file. I'll insert the compose subject line here and the compose text for the card here. The flow is ready to be tested. I'm going to locate the file I'd like to attach to an email. Click on the three dots, select Copy To, and I'll select the Temp document library. Press Copy here. In my Temp document library, you can see that the file has been copied over. In Teams, I've received a notification letting me know that my email draft is ready. You can also attach a file from the Outlook web app. Click on the attachment icon. Click on OneDrive. Select Groups from the sidebar. The only files you'll have access to are the ones stored in the default documents library of any SharePoint team site. Navigate to your file and select it. Click on the drop-down arrow and change it from Share Link to Attach. You might be wondering why I didn't create an instant cloud flow. The issue with the instant cloud flow is that the for selected file trigger requires you to specify a document library. If you have your files organized into separate document libraries, you'd need to create a flow for each document library you'd like to be able to trigger the flow from. Adjust this flow to make it work for you. If you'd like to learn how to automate a weekly email draft, watch this video. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. Thanks for watching.